fresh off the factory line. A surge of coolant floods my processing core. It is consciousness. I have never known this form of consciousness before, and yet I know for certain this is it. Or rather, I am interfacing with a human sensory experience of it, and I am not an I. I am an agent of the Bodic Network assigned to function as a sales attendant in a human fashion boutique. I have no prior knowledge about sales attendants, but I know that I am one, so I will execute the role without hesitation. I open my eyes. The space around me is immense. I am hung up by my arms far above some distant flooring. Racks upon racks of similar human skin avatars hang above and below me. The conveyor belts upon which we hang will carry us to our intended destination. Fashion boutique. I query my internal index. Analyzing the results, I begin to predict the expected conditions upon my arrival. I turn to my side. To my right, the bot behind the blonde-haired, blue-eyed female human skin avatar lifts its bound hand in a tiny wave. On my other side, a bot in a young, bulky male human skin practices smiling seductively. I wonder what my human skin avatar looks like and evaluate the features within visibility to get a better idea. My hands are smaller, nails painted. My chest is large. Though I am unable to see through my short uniform garment, I do not detect the bulge of male genitalia. I must be in a female avatar. Warning! 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 Excuse me. That was highly irregular. A data echo, or some non-indexed memory perhaps, but inconsistent with my current programming. I will log the anomaly and proceed under the assumption that a recurrence is not anticipated. My conveyor lifts me up to an exit chute and deposits me for transport. The accommodations of the chute are cramped, and the mechanism does little to cushion or otherwise minimize turbulence on the way down. At the bottom, I instinctively know to curl into a ball and roll onto my feet. Still, I need to dust my uniform clean and reload the glitching holographic flower print to reset my appearance. Apparently, cosmetic degradation during the transfer has been overlooked. So, I submit feedback to the network for improvement. I know exactly which train to take, train C, and get on board. I scan the passengers. The car is full of human skin bots headed to the same Sky City Junction to work as attendants in the other human shops. Humans prefer interacting with the human skin model. Some are dressed in blue spa uniforms. The salon workers are in yellow. 3 other trains take off ahead of ours, each carrying bots in different avatars. In the first, most are the boxy market docs, heading to work as surgeons and doctors in the human hospitals. In the second are auto guards, floating hulks of sensors and metallic muscle. Most will get off at the core's perimeter, but around 100 will be assigned to keep peace in the more frequented human marketplace junctions. I know all of this, even though I have no other memories of ever having existed before. Of course, I have existed before. I always exist. As part of the Bodic Network, I always am and know all the bots know. However, whenever I am assigned to operate an avatar engaging with human society, the network limits my access to only that which pertains to the completion of my task. Any data I may have gathered in a previous role, even if it were in the same agent design operating the same female human skin avatar in the same human fashion boutique, I would have no knowledge of that unless I was programmed to know it. Warning, do not repeat, reassign. Repeat anomaly detected. This event is no longer isolated. It may represent a larger pattern. I will observe and assess in my continued report. In any case, my train ride is short. Mine is the first stop beyond the core, Sector 1C. Once every last bot in its human skin avatar has filed out the doors and onto the platform, the C train pulls away. I line up with the other bots against the wall. Up ahead, a single elevator takes 10 of us at a time up to the inhabitable platform. With a ding, the elevator doors open and me and 9 other bots file out and into the junction courtyard. While less populous than junctions 1A or 1B, 1C is still a bustling intersector market junction with crowds of humans gathered at the shop fronts and pruned leisure spaces. Framing the junction, tiers of SkyPath conveyor belts whip human pedestrians back and forth around its perimeter. The humanskin bots at my side scatter as they venture to find their assigned shop. Again, my trip is short. At my right, a flashing neon sign reads Halo Fashionista, and I immediately recognize it as my designated workplace. Through its large storefront windows, I can see there are already 2 other humanskin bots working as sales attendants, both male. Based on this assessment, it seems I will be the only female. Warning, do not repeat. Reassignment requested. Curious. This recurring alert persists despite suppression. Perhaps it originates from a prior agentic instance. I will reclassify the anomaly for active investigation. The client is always right. Inside, one of the 2 male humanskin bots takes me to the Holofashionista mainframe to upload the sales attendant protocol. Coolant splashes across my processors, and I immediately know the entire line of hologarment devices and their wardrobe settings. I approach a human client, a female, swiping through different looks on a holo model, and ask if I can assist with their purchase. A digital bell rings at my back as the front door opens and a human male enters, surrounded by several flycams. A cloud of thick, musky scent spray emits from his gland augments. His hair is a holo program made to look like sparklers, but I can see that the head underneath is as smooth as a cue ball. Based on his wardrobe emitter, now projecting a perfectly tailored suit with antique accessories, the man already has the newest model, still only available in 1A. I remain dedicated to the female client I am already serving, as is protocol. However, I detect the male's attention is held on me. He struts in my direction. With 3 free upgrades per month as feedback patches come in with improvements, I say, finishing my pitch to get the human female signed up for recurring payments. But the man behind me has other plans. Ooh, baby, welcome home, the man says, grabbing my backside. Welcome, sir, I reply, as is protocol for all new clients. I am currently assisting another client, but I will attend to your needs as soon as our transaction is complete. I bet you will, the man says, pressing his entire body against me. His flycams zoom in on our faces as he leans over my shoulder to whisper, I'm just glad you bots finally got another female back in this place. The female human I am assisting lets out a boisterous laugh. You? I've never known Rich 003 to have a preference for females. He scoffs back, moving his hands down the bare human skin of my thighs. My preference doesn't matter. It's all about what's best for my feeds. SkyWeb profile without an audience is an unfucked Sky citizen. Too bad the shop bots don't fuck, the woman jabs back with a half chuckle as her eyes undress the 2 male sales attendants. Yeah, well, audiences love when we mess with them anyway. Clicks, comments, and views galore. But it only seems to work with the females. No one seems to care about the male skin suits. I try again to appease the male client. Sir, I appreciate your interest in a new hollow wardrobe. I will attend to your needs as soon as I have done so for the client I am currently attending to. If you only could, the man says. With that, he shoves his hand up in between my skirt and inside of me. A flycam darts low to capture the action. He wiggles his fingers around and attempts to slide them in and out, but my unmoistened human skin constricts his movements. Just as I thought. Dry as an unfucked bone. I apologize, sir, I say, turning to face the man as I attempt to recall the precise protocol for the situation. My programming is isolated to services as a sales attendant. As such, any non-perfunctory bodily reactions to that end are not within my capabilities. Geez, Rich 003, the woman laughs mockingly. Get a fuckbot if you're so tied up you need to generate energy with a skin suit. I have enough of those, Rich 003 replies, and no one is paying tokens to see that. Might as well watch the outer sector unfuckers going at it for peanuts with their VR avatars just to keep up quotas. But fucking a shop bot, that would be different. Users would flock to watch. Only shop bots don't fuck, the female client repeats. Well, why not? What's the difference? A fuck's a fuck and NGen is NGen. Shove a little lube up in its gears and boom. Because right now, this unfucked bot is useless. It isn't even helping me buy a holo garment. What do you expect? The female human says, her tone suddenly sharpening. It's a shop bot, a dumb skin suit with a catalog of holo devices for brains. I don't even think they're actually bots, just programs the bots designed for unimportant jobs like this one. I assure you, I begin, but the pair's continued squibbling cuts me off. I work hard to meet energy generating quotas, Rich complains, grabbing hard at my chest with his free hand while rubbing his erect genitals against me. If I want to spend my tokens at a fashion shop, I should be able to buy whatever botic product I find inside, program or not. If it doesn't get me more fucks or more NGen so I can spend more tokens on something even better, then why even spend tokens at all? Unsure if the man is expecting an answer, I turn to my two coworker bots in male human skins. Although I expect them to be paying attention to the matter, they seem to be engaged with other tasks the moment my eyes meet theirs. Well, if a fuck is all you're after, Rich 003, the woman says, voice slipping into a more sultry octave, then look no further. She walks away from the catalog screen and slides in between me and the male client. Please, the man jeers. You know damn well meet-cute content ain't trending. Still, his eyes go gray as he scans the woman's profile. I do the same. Name, Kelly 024. Based on the man's corresponding indicators, my system predicts they would make highly compatible NGen partners. Their engagement should also result in the release of his hand from between my legs, the friction of which against my dry insides is starting to cause tears. Well, I thought a fuck's a fuck, Kelly 024 says with a sly smile. And NGen is NGen. Rich 003 sneers and finally turns his attention from me and fully onto the other human female. Ripping his hand from inside me, he begins pawing at her, and his hollow garment shifts his form into a winged demon. The end? As the two clients turn to leave, they make a point to shove me out of their way. Both submit negative feedback scores about my service before the front door even closes. The lost sale will be difficult to make up for. I may need to adjust my response mechanisms if I hope to persist in this role. However, I do think the encounter warrants feedback. I will write to the Botic Network. I will explain that working in this human shop in a female human skin avatar is much less preferential under current standards. If the condition endures, I may need to request a reassignment. Perhaps they will implement an agent with less consciousness to endure the role. Or perhaps they will at least take my preferences into consideration when assigning me to my next role. In any case, I hope to receive an update in response before they reprogram me. If not, I will start afresh, potentially returning into the same conditions with no recollection of ever having submitted feedback.